shine them bright. Gonna have a brand new show tonight, with glitz and glam on the marquee. Perhaps a Tony nominee. Stars beam brightly, see them glow. Sell out nightly, SRO. It's time to applaud the Broadway beat. Stars beam brightly, see them glow in the sunlight of a show. Life is sweet on the world's most famous street.
Tickets, please.
Take a seat.
Cue the band.
And tap your feet to the rhythm of the Broadway beat. The Broadway beat. Broadway beat.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge, and welcome to Broadway Beat, our weekly half-hour behind-the-scenes look at the very best of the New York theater on Broadway and beyond. This week we have a great show in store for you. We'll take a look at two new musicals. One is Hot Feet at the Hilton Theater, which is a modern retelling of The Red Shoes, directed by Maurice Hines and told to the music of Earth, Wind and Fire. But we start things off with a look at The Wedding Singer. The popular 1998 Adam Sandler film has been turned into a musical at the Al Hirschfeld Theater. Stepping into Sandler's shoes in the role of Robbie, the lead singer of a New Jersey wedding band who is dumped at the altar, is newcomer Stephen Lynch. Joining him in the role of Julia, the waitress with a heart of gold, is one of Broadway's loveliest leading ladies, Laura Benanti. Director John Rando and choreographer Rob Ashford, both Tony Award winners, guide the company through the best of the 1980s. The Wedding Singer features a score by Matthew Sklar and Chad Beguelin, and a book by Mr. Beguelin and Tim Herlihy. Rounding out the cast is Kevin Cahoon as George, Matthew Saldivar as Sammy, and Richard H. Blake as Glenn.
Bang your head! So when it's your wedding day, and my music starts to play, I can guarantee that love will find you. Yeah, when it's your wedding day, all the problems melt away. If you count on me, 'cause love is one. It's love is one. That's what I do. That's what I do. Love is what I do.
It really appeals to a young audience and an old audience, and the whole point was to, bring a warm, fun, happy time to the theater, and hopefully we've done that. It seems to have.
I was a huge 80s fan. I used to hang out in Area and the Underground and just, all the groups of that time period, Men at Work and everything else, and it looked like the audience is like all the mothers and fathers who were brought up in the 80s, and now their kids are turned on from the film.
That is so true. It's really astonishing because, I was very much grew up, and this is very much a personal story for me, because when I was in 1986, I actually asked a girl to marry me before I had any money, and and she turned me down, fortunately. And it's hard being an artist and getting married, and I love that appeal that the show has, is that it's for a lot of people.
What's been the best part of this journey for you with putting this show together?
The best part is working with the writers, the two young writers, the composer and the lyricist, who just great new talents for Broadway, along with the screenwriter, who is a spectacular writer and is such a great guy. And so for me, that's the most pleasure, along with collaborating with the great Rob Ashford.
It has been a dream come true. I wanted to write a Broadway musical since I'm 10. And I've had the good fortune to work as a pit musician and work in almost a dozen shows in that capacity. And I've been a fly on the wall for a lot of these. And to actually, be able to put the pencil to the paper and have my own stuff on the stage is just incredible. I can't even really put it into words. It's amazing.
I'm a huge 80s fan. I used to hang out like Area and the Underground, all these great places, and you captured that whole thing.
Oh, thank you.
How do you mix, the sound of the 80s and to find the Broadway sound? How do you put them all together, and how did it all come together?
Well, I think everything always started with the story and the book. Every single scene, that's where we always start with. So, luckily I grew up in New Jersey in the 80s, so the sound is very familiar to me. And I think the challenge was to sort of create a hybrid score that sounded like it was from the 80s, but also theatrical as well. So I think living in both worlds made it the right project for me to try to musicalize.
At the beginning, it was really hard to sort of find the voices for everyone, and one of the first songs that I felt like I really nailed was the note that Linda sings, Felicia Finley sings, when she dumps Robbie at the altar. And after we finished that song, I sort of felt like, okay, that's the tone for the show. And so it's sort of been my favorite song because it was the moment where I sort of had a light bulb go on. So ever since then, everything sort of seemed to flow. So it was a really easy show once we found the voice.
So when you wrote this show, did you know the characters in your mind first, or it all came organically through the section of the show you were writing for?
Yeah, well, we had an overview, and we sort of knew, everybody's point of view for each song and each moment, but as we began to work on it, and actually after we got the cast, we did a reading, and we began to really, really investigate who they were. And, for example, Matt Saldivar, who plays Sammy, we cast him, and he's very different from the character we had in mind, but he brought so much to the part that pretty soon we were just writing for him. So his song Single came right after, we cast him, we sort of knew what he was about, and he brought such personality that we knew immediately how to sort of proceed with his songs. And that started happening with everyone, especially, Stephen Lynch, of course, who is such a great personality. As soon as he, started playing Robbie, we knew exactly how to take off with his voice and our voice together, so...
No one minds the laundry on your floor. No one pouts with every chick you look at. No one tries to clean your porno drawer. No one traps you with does my ass look fat? Bust a move in women's underwear while you're blasting Cher or Wham. Cher or Wham. So fill your Rangers cup. The toilet seat stays up. The fridge gets stocked with beer and spam. Single, you are single.
Well, I got to fix all the things that I didn't like about the movie, and it just working with a team of people again. Writing movies is a very lonely business, and just being able to work, hand in hand with all the cast and the director and the other writers and the musical guys and the lighting and everything, and just being really part of the team putting it together. It was just it was great for me.
The whole show has changed between Seattle and New York. I think I'm so grateful that we went out of town to Seattle because they really figured out how to tell this story, and that it's a love story between these two people. And so that's sort of like spearheaded everything. That's what we were doing. And I think that they felt like in Seattle they got liberty and license to get wacky and crazy at the end with Las Vegas and the celebrity impersonators. And I feel like that has helped the show so much, And right from the minute the curtain goes up, the audience sees Rob Ashford's amazing 80s dances, and they know, oh, I get it. This is exactly what the train that we're on.
Well, it's kind of nice. I just got done playing Link Larkin in Hairspray for 2 years, where I was the consummate nice guy. So to be the bad guy is actually a nice change. You get to pull a little bit of the dark side out, and it's fun. Try and play him a little bit endearing, but in the end, he's still the bad guy.
And talk about that big dance number of Rob Ashford's that you do.
I have to bow and praise Rob Ashford. He has really done wonders with all of the choreography in the show, and he worked so closely with me on this, and I can't thank him enough. He put together a wonderful number that I'm very proud of.
Buying out the Japanese land deals down in Boca, doing drinks with Ayatollah. Yeah, it's all about the
I feel really relieved. I'm really glad that this show is open, and I'm really proud of it. We've worked really, really hard to create a show that is full of heart, and funny, and all those things. I just said heartful. I apologize. I'm exhausted.
No, but that's a great word, because I was at the show last Wednesday, and I was telling John, the audience was like parents who were brought up in the 80s with these like little kids now that are turned on by the movie and now the musical, and grandparents. It's such a great mix. And your interpretation, it's great to see you just play a girl.
Yeah, it's nice to play the girl next door. I've never done it. Everything I've done has been very, very serious. hilarious, and it's been amazing for me. This is really my first brand new Broadway musical, and so I have learned a lot, during this. And in Seattle, and the role was very different, and the guys worked really hard to bring out her humor and her life and her, vitality, and so that's been a real learning experience, and I'm really glad now that I was a part of it,
What are some of the best parts of working on a brand new musical? Because you're starting from scratch and you're all learning together, and I'm sure your role changed during Seattle and New York.
Oh, Seattle, it was very, very different. And even like the gypsy run-through of our show in the city, I had a completely different opening song. So this show, at least for my character, has taken on a completely different thing. So I'm just grateful that we did it, and I'm grateful that it's open, and I hope people love it. It's taught me a lot.
Who's the girl with the perfect future? Her reflection says it all. Trying hard to pretend she's eager, searching for some way to stall. So unsure of the road she's chosen, faced with feelings her heart should not allow. One thing's certain, it seems that she just can't turn back now. If she can, tell her how. If I told you all the words I've yet to say, would they matter, or would you simply turn and walk away?
Robbie's a guy who loves music. I mean, he's a musician at heart, and he's a creative guy, and I relate to him in that way. And he's got a very pure heart, I think, and he's a genuine guy. And the love story between Robbie and Julia is really what this show is about. And it gets lots of laughs, and all the people I work with are unbelievably funny and good, but I think at the core of it, if you don't have that simple love story, you might leave the audience wanting. And I think now we have it. So it's a simple story about a guy and a girl meeting and falling in love and overcoming obstacles and getting together at the end. Ah, damn it, I just gave away the ending.
You're Holly's cousin, right?
Yeah, Julia Sullivan.
Robbie Hart.
Yeah, when it's your wedding day, all the problems melt away. If you count on me, 'cause love is one. It's what I do. That's what I do. That's what I do. Love is what I do.
The new musical Hot Feet, which has just opened at the Hilton Theater, features the music of one of the most popular singing groups of the 70s and 80s, Earth, Wind and Fire. The musical, which was conceived, directed and choreographed by Maurice Hines, features a standout performance by newcomer Vivian Nixon, who just happens to be the daughter of dancer-choreographer Debbie Allen and the niece to renowned actress Felicia, who were both on hand for Hot Feet's opening night celebration. Nixon plays Kalimba, whose life dream and ambition is to be a Broadway dancer. Kalimba is cajoled to dance with a pair of magical and enchanted red shoes. When she puts them on, they begin to take control of a talented dancer's fate. Rounding out the cast is Keith David as producer Victor, Winona Smith as aging diva Naomi, Alan Hidalgo as Louis, and Michael Balderrama as Anthony.
Boogie
I feel spectacular. I'm so happy, and the one word that keeps coming in my mind is I'm proud. I'm proud to be connected with these two gentlemen, Maurice White and Haru Patah as the book writer, and of course Maurice White is the composer, and I'm proud of my dancers, and I'm proud that they connected with the audience, because that's what my brother and I were raised to do. It's all about them. It's not about us. And my dancers caught it. And I have great actors, and I can't say enough about it. I'm honored to be with them. I'm honored.
Well, let's talk about this project. When did it start for you?
2 years ago. Started 2 years ago. We had mutual agents at William Morris, Maurice White and myself. They put us together, and it was sort of magical. I went out to California to meet him. I couldn't believe I was meeting Maurice White. I thought I was going to go crazy. And when I met him, he said, "What you got for me?" And I told him the story. He said, "Let's go with it. Let's go for it." And that's how it evolved. That in 2 years is very quick to do a musical, as you know. But the music was there, and he wrote original songs. Dearest Heart, Callie, When I Dance. I mean, fabulous things. I mean, the man is a genius. You know, what can I say? What can I say?
About your cast, specifically your leading lady, when you first found her?
Well, I have 3 leading ladies. I have Vivian Nixon, I have Ann Duganay, Tony winner for Noise Funk, and I have Miss Winona Smith, who was in the Cotton Club with Gregory and I. She's a wonder, all great artists, and I must talk about Keith David as Victor, and Alan Hidalgo, and Michael Balderrama. The cast is a dream cast. As a director and a writer and the composer, it's a dream to work. It's really a labor of love, and that has not happened to me since I did UB with my brother. That's a long time. So when you work with giants like this, then all of a sudden you become alive yourself. You're inspired. Don't I look inspired, baby?
You look wonderful. Gentlemen, how do you feel tonight?
I feel just wonderful. It was a wonderful night. All leading up to this night. It was great.
Hard work.
And when you came into the picture, sir, talk about your involvement with writing the book.
Well, like you said, we have a mutual agent, and when they came up with the original concept for the story, they said that they needed to get a writer, and so they had a couple options in mind, and then my agent recommended me, and then I met with Maurice Hines, and then after only meeting him for like 10 minutes, he said, "You're the one, and you're the guy I want to do this with," and so here I am, here we are.
The amount of talent and the amount of experience and the amount of energy that comes from this cast is unprecedented. I mean, to see everyone push that hard and to have the support of an incredible story and the support of amazing music to help push that energy even higher, you see the result in the audience every night. Absolutely.
Let's talk about this role that you get to play. Explain who he is and what's the most joy about playing him.
Absolutely. My role, I play Anthony, the choreographer for the dance company, and I was blessed with this part in the fact that he's got an incredible journey within the story, not only with the dance, but with an amazing partner, Vivian Nixon, who plays Kalimba, and he's taken to the height of incredible love and an incredible experience to the depths of sorrow. And I'm lucky enough to be one of the people who gets to perform as a dancer, acting as well as through dance, everything that I have to share with the audience. So it's quite the journey, and it's quite an amazing thing for myself.
Yeah, I play the bad guy, but what else can I do, right? I play Satan. I play the devil. His name is Louis, and he's Faustian. He's kind of like a Latino Puerto Rican Faust, a little bit of flavor in there, and he's the only character that narrates to the show, actually talks to the audience, and I take them through this journey. And like he says at the end, you know, you win some, you lose some, so there's good and evil in both parts of life, you know what I mean? It's got lots of lessons to teach.
Tonight was amazing. I mean, it was just amazing. I can't even describe all of the feelings as I sat and watched the entire performance. There were many things that I thought about. I thought a lot about Maurice Hines, his career, his development, his accomplishments as a performer, and to have it come full circle like this, and how very, very proud I am of my niece Vivian, and how happy I am that she did this under his direction, under his tutelage. This is amazing. And to sit and watch her as a young woman and remember her as an infant and as a young child growing up, as I'm watching her as this amazing young performer, this is quite a night.
It's Barbara Montgomery. I know her very well, and she told a story that when Vivian was really, really young, and she was in the crib, and she'd hear like this, radio go on, and she would climb out of the crib and stand in front of these mirrors and start dancing at 18 months.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Well, her mother was dancing as she carried her, which made the child come early, and there's quite a story behind that that'll be told someday about the power and strength that Vivian exhibited and demonstrated as a premature baby. It was awesome.
I'm so happy. I'm so proud of Vivian's accomplishment. She's worked so hard, and she will continue to work hard, and she brings so much joy. I'm just so thrilled for her. I'm so excited for Maurice Hines. This is a historic event for him to come out of a world that everyone thinks of him as tap is what he does, and he does so much more than that. And to carve this show out of his imagination in a matter of, I think, about 3 months. It's not been very long.
Oh, you choreographed it in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, so, I mean, I remember doing Sweet Charity, and that was a show that we knew what it was, and Bob Fosse rehearsed me, honey, for 6 weeks before anybody got to see me at the stage. So this is just a blessing that we have this great big dance show, and I have my little Vivi.
Well, tell me what it's been like working with Maurice Hines and having him create all this stuff around you.
It's been wonderful. He is so funny. I love that man. I can't say that enough. I adore him. He, when it's down to business, it's business, but he loves us. He's embracing. He never leaves us out. We know everything. The dancers aren't just, people, you're the dancers. No, we're his stars, and he treats us like that. So it's been
Talk about this great role that you get to play, and where do you find the energy? You don't sweat at all. I watch you. I've seen you twice do this show, and I'm like, you are so incredible. You dance that entire show.
I don't know. I don't really sweat, but I'm a little tired, I must admit. But you build the stamina for it, and when you're so happy, it's hard not to enjoy it. You forget about the strain. You forget about it because it's so wonderful. It's really a dream come true.
And just talk about the great role that you get to play and what attracts you to her and playing her.
Kalimba is a young girl who's dealing with love and working professionally for the first time, and she's making choices and dealing with her ambition, and it's about a young woman coming into her own, and it's a wonderful story because it's a wonderful character for me to play because I've been there and I'm still there, so I can relate to her.
Talk about the wonderful role you play and why you love playing her young.
Oh, she's amazing. Naomi has really become my alter ego, and I love her. And so they tease me now because every once in a while Naomi comes out when I'm not even on the stage. So I'm really living her. She's fabulous. I think she's so wonderful because everyone can relate to her. Be it man or woman, they can all relate to her, and that's why they fall in love with her so much. We get older, and there's always a younger coming up, and so you just have to step aside, and you have to let them let their light shine. You know what I'm saying? But then, we live it, and it's always a part of us, so it's amazing. It's really nice.
Is it fun playing the bad girl?
Yeah, because we still have to hold our throne. We're not going to really give it up all the way, and so it's fun playing. But she's not really a bad girl. They really do like her. She's funny, and she has a heart, and you know, but she is she's a bad girl, huh?
Those are the divas are fun to play.
Yes, they are.
You know, it's you know, the wonderful thing about being in the theater is it is live, and it's an exchange of energy. And you know, some audiences are more vocal than others, but you know, the houses that we've been playing here have been great. People have been responsive and responding, and that's always a great feeling. It's always a great feeling.
Because we all know you, of course, from film, but I know you mostly from theater, but not musicals. So what was it specifically?
I started my career. I was a singer before I was an actor, but you know, the chances that you get to do that, and then what people see you in, and what you become, you know, known in, are two different things. I mean, I played Macheath in Three Penny Opera. I played him in the Beggar's Opera. I've done lots of things out in the public. I was Kevin Kline's understudy in The Pirates of Penzance. So it's part of, you know, what I do.
Now talk about the wonderful role you get to play, and what's so fun about playing him 8 times a week.
Well, you know, I remember, you know, when I first got introduced to Gregory Hines, he was starring in a play called Coming Uptown, and he sings this great song called "Somebody's Gotta Be the Heavy," and you know, somebody's got to be the heavy. So that's me.
Ladies and gentlemen, hot seat.